And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more NECC action here at NECC Esports. We've got an exciting series coming up for you here between Bryant University at URG and some Emergent Division action. I am your color commentator. My name is Lars Newt. Joining me here in the casting booth is Hyferia for your play-by-play. Hyferia, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing absolutely lovely. Obviously, watched that last series as well. It was a 3-0 sweep, but it was a very interesting series, and I really hope to see more of that. Sometimes you see a sweep, and it's not necessarily a deserved one, so we're going to have to see whether that turns out here today as well between Bryant and URG.
Well, we had some, I know just in week one last week, we had some absolutely incredible series, and I fully expect to see some more of that going forward here. Bryant University versus URG, both coming off of a loss in week number one. Bryant taking that one all the way to game five, but dropping that one 2-3 versus SUNY Oswego. URG getting swept, Randolph-Macon College in week one. So they're definitely going to be looking to come out here and make a statement. I think for URG, they're going to want to take game number one and really show, hey, this is our first game of the season that we're going to pick up in a win and then carry that momentum through the series. On the other side, you have Bryant University, who's they just got nudged out for that victory in week number one. So they're also looking to come out here and say, hey, we deserve to have some wins on the board, and it's going to be just so huge. I think the pace is going to have to be set early in this series.
Yeah, and obviously there was a preseason as well, which Brian, they didn't really play that. URG did, and they lost every single series. They've only managed to get one game in, well, 6 games, and with the first week, 7 games. 7 series. Do apologize. So it's not really a good look for them off the get-go. We're gonna have to see. Maybe they were just incredibly tough opponents. We don't really know that. We're gonna have to see how these teams stack up. But looking at previous results, I've obviously not seen either of these teams play. But Brian is on paper the favorite here, in my opinion.
You have to give the team that is coming in off of a bigger start to this season. You know, they've picked up a couple of wins so far. The team is just looking at some of these. It's actually just an older team, so maybe they bring a little bit more level-headedness to this matchup. But the only way to find out who is going to be out on top is to put the players on the field, put 5 minutes on the clock, and let them duke it out against each other and see who walks away the victor. And like I said, I think the real pace setter, the real determinator here is going to be whoever sets the pace off the bat. Hyferia, any predictions as we get into game number one?
Yeah, it is Division 3. It's anything can happen kind of scenario, but nobody going for kickoff. That's not a good look. And they're all sitting in the goal. I don't know whether this is just a strat that they're going for or what's going on here, whether they're just messing about. But it's not good because you're already inviting so much pressure. And, well, I didn't even make my prediction, but my prediction is going to be firm. Bryant are just going to take this because this is not really something you want to do.
No, it's not a good start here. I think a little bit of confusion on the side of the field. It was a little bit of an early join. It's got the players a little scrambled. And now off to a 1-goal deficit in favor of Bryant. URG needs to make that back quickly before this gets away from them.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate that you concede a goal due to some things not being clear. Oh my word, Liam almost going off the sidewall. That will drop to Mag clashing, and he drops it into the back of the net, and that's more of a lead now for Bryant.
I really love the way this play developed. It was a great start here, getting that pass down. You have the player lurking on the backfield, ready to take away that backfield defense from the defenders. Get that one touched into the center, and you get all 3 players involved. That's good awareness on the field. That's a good job managing spacing and getting everybody up and not triple committing, but getting it all settled in. And now it looks like the players have come to an agreement on the field to let a goal back the other way. The only thing about this is we saw the first goal on confusion and now the equalizer to kind of even it out. But that second goal that wasn't off the back of confusion, that's the actual play coming from Bryant, it was pretty commanding. It happened pretty quickly. That's dangerous for URG going forward.
Yeah, that could also still be in the scrambles of the game thinking, oh, we just got scammed out of a goal here. They do get one back here. Still, not really the most fortunate thing that you want to run into. So we're going to have to see whether they can regain themselves, whether they are able to put that aside and just go at their full force. I absolutely love already the gentleman's agreement between these two teams saying, okay, look, we got one out of the scrambles. We'll give you one back for free as well. And Liam going down the field, 14 boost left over in the tank, picks up a 12 pad. As Lawrence going to the backboard. Second touch as well, drops it into the center, and they are still incredibly commanding as Armac 11 puts that one into the back of the net.
Once again, getting multiple players involved here. The entire team on the side of Bryant getting involved to get that goal home, and that's something, if you're a URG, you can't allow them to do. That attack from the corner, typically not a very effective direction to attack straight along the wall like that, because you don't have a lot of options in where you can put that ball to try to get that attack out in front of the net. But unfortunately for URG, they allow that one across the middle, but here's a shooting opportunity down and across just wide. They're finding good offensive pressure. They just need to find the magic to finish it off.
They need to continue on that pressure a little bit more, and Lawrence is going into the center. That's a good 50 from Lil Pickle. And then it drops right into Armac 11, who pops it into the attack again. They're not really managing to put anything threatening or anything consistently threatening on target, as Lawrence is getting another opportunity. Pass it to Liam, who tries to go for a shot. Liam has not really been involved, but do you really need to with the likes of Armac 11 on the attack every single time? An assist picked up for Liam.
This is something that Bryant has done very well, is that consistent attack, that very fast rotation through the offensive end, getting attack after attack after attack. And you don't necessarily have to hit the net on that first shot. It's something I talk about a lot when I cast, and it's one of my favorite ways to score goals is shooting wide of the net, forcing a response out of the defense, baiting them away, and then taking that rebound off that backboard to look for another one. Little Pickle touching that one away and not allowing Bryant to run away with this one just yet.
And that's a very intricate way to play as well. If you miss on purpose, you have to get good perfection on that, because otherwise they are still going to either get a save or they're just going to recognize that it's off, especially at the higher level. It really becomes pivotal that you shoot off target or at least force something out of the defense, because an initial shot on target is always going to be saved. Now Liam, what can he do? He can pass that back to Lawrence, who pops it out to the side. A bit of a giveaway into Lil Pickle, who pops that one up into the opposing corner. Liam is there to deal with that, and after that, it is Armac 11. And Armac 11, he's been a pretty pivotal part of Bryant's game.
Yeah, obviously leading the goal scoring here with 4 to themselves, only really threatened by a Little Pickle, and that's not much of a threat. But now back the other way, Liam looking to claim one of their own just off the post. Doesn't quite find it. Now Armac is up again with another shot on net, and this is that repeated attack we see out of Bryant again and again and again. But now the crossbar standing tall on the side of URG. They finally start to get this one away, and it's right back up the crossbar yet again.
That is 4 crossbars in a row. Let's see whether Lawrence can make that 5. He puts it up high. Liam actually drops that one down, but it's cleared out. Now Armac 11 needs to hurry back into the goal. Lawrence is there in time. This is still going to drop into center. Is there anybody going to be up for that? Little Pickle even gets a demo, but there's nobody there in the offensive pressure. Just currently not good enough on the side of URG, and they need to get something more. Lil Pickle might be able to create that something more right here. Can he get the double tap? He can get a second touch, but it's not quite the double tap. Ooh, and then they're just going out and down the other end is Armac 11 once again, being absolutely pivotal to his team. Liam was there, tries to go for the touch, tries to do a little bit of a steely, and well, as you saw, it did not work out, but it's still a goal, so they don't really mind that much. And I'm afraid that, unfortunately, due to circumstances, Lars's internet has went down, so lucky ducky. He's not really going to make use of that because Lars is obviously not playing. But hey, I guess you're going to have to do with me. I guess you're going to have to do with big ol' Hyferia, big ol' uncle sitting up here and entertaining everyone. It's 5-2. This is going to be an incredibly hard comeback for URG, and they need to get something going right away because they've only got a minute left, and they need to do it now as Lawrence Chan, he picks it up, tries to go to the backboard, and the picker is right there to get that one out. Or at least attempting to get that one out. Armac into the center. Liam, he's been going for those the entire evening. He doesn't get it, but it's another goal for Bryant University. I don't know. I almost want to call it already. It's not looking great for them at all, because a 4-goal lead in a game where they've not really managed to looked like the superior team, where they've not really managed to get anything going. They might just have to start thinking about the next one already, as another pass goes into Armac 11, and it seems as if he's just their entire attack. Every single pass going towards him. He's also got 6 of the goals on their side, nearing 1,000 points on the board. Absolutely pivotal player on the side of Bryant. Now Armac is actually going to be a little bit non-selfish and puts it wide to try and get that pass in, but this one is all over and done with, I'm pretty sure. 3v3, if there's a comeback of 4 goals, that is going to be the most ridiculous thing to happen in 3v3 that I've personally ever seen. Even at the lower level, that's not something that should happen. And I'm saying lower level, this is still at least top 2%. But hey, this is the lowest division, and actually, ooh, our Mac, he's not going to be too happy about that. He had a perfect streak of scoring all the goals, and then Lawrence put one into the back of the net as well. So not a perfect record for him, not all the goals to himself. He's going to have to share a little bit, but that is still a 1-0 for Bryant University, who looks pretty commanding and pretty dominant in this match currently. They're managing to catch URG off guard, and that's not only because of that initial confusion where so yeah, it was a pretty commanding win, and you kind of need to take that into account. Obviously, there was a bit of a scrambled start where nobody really knew what was going on. They got a goal back off of that, and that is also one of the only goals that they got in the entire series. They very much struggled to get anything going, and Bryant, they are looking so good right now, whereas URG, they need to pick up the pace. They need to get a little bit more of that offensive pressure. They have 4 shots. They got 2 goals out of it. But Bryant, they've got 15 shots, if my math serves me right, and I'm pretty sure it does. So both put in about half of their shots, which is a very good percentage. But then if you're on the wrong side of having the most amount of shots, it's not going to be ending well for you. And that is exactly what we saw for URG here. So they're going to have to see whether they can regain, whether they can reset themselves mentally and go back in it and get back going. Really need to see this happening. I think right now, if it's a 1-0, or if it leads to a 2-0, this is a good start for Lil Pico. He doesn't even let me finish my sentence. A miss coming in from the defensive side. But if it gets to 2-0, Rio are gonna have a very hard time coming back. Well, we're gonna have to see how the rest of this game goes. It's 4-minute 50, an early goal. That is the lovely thing about it. You've still got so much time going on in the rest of the matchups. They're definitely not out. Armac puts it to the sideboard, or backboard rather. Now going to try and put that sensor as well. That's a miss coming in from the attacking side, but it's still Armac. Obviously, it's Armac on the attacking side. Puts it into his teammate Lawrence. Puts it in the far post, and that is the equalizer already. Only 30 seconds in, 2 goals being scored on the field, 1 on either side. This has proven to be a little bit more of a battle coming out from URG. They are proving themselves a little bit more, which is what we need to see. They got a goal early on, and not because it was given to them. We're going to have to see. Lil Pico, he gets a 50 on it. It gets put off to the side, and Lil Pico, he's kind of the Armac of URG, but then his teammates need to help him, need to back him up and everything like that, as well as, oh my word, Ramsey with a complete miss on the ball. And Lawrence trying to go into the center. That's perfectly into center. Liam missed there to put that in. Well, we were 30 seconds further, and that's his 3rd goal falling. If this continues at this pace, have a pretty quick game here. And I might be getting some info that potentially my co-caster is back, although I'm not 100% sure on that. Co-caster.
I am in fact back. We have found a way to bring me back into this matchup and continuing back the other way. URG finally finding some momentum here in game number 2, able to keep this one a little bit closer, and there's a shooting opportunity But you're absolutely right. They need to find a way to strike back a little bit quicker, a little bit more effectively, because Bryant still maintains advantage, and there's the third to Bryant. And now just a minute and 20 seconds in, that is a dangerous lead for them, threatening to run away with this one again.
And I already said at the start that if this leads to a 2-0 for Bryant, I see a very dire situation for URG. Really need to see him pick it up this game, get something going, because the reverse sweep, we've seen it in their record. It's not something that they're too familiar with, considering they pretty much got swept every single time except for once. They might get swept again here if they lose this one, because Bryant obviously will be on match point, but there's still more than enough time to play for.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 20 seconds is plenty of time to try to make a comeback here, but I think they need to get some of that momentum going early. And the biggest thing here is I think they're a little bit out-mechanicked, a little bit out-skilled by Bryant. URG needs to find a way to overcome that. It's going to be speed, team play, and maybe some physicality to open up the net as Liam getting a little fancy. I think getting a lot of confidence out of Bryant right now. They're very comfortable. You need to upset that comfort to try to make a comeback here.
And you need to put them off their game, because currently, as you said, they are looking like the stronger mechanical team, which is great practice, but it's not really going to be good for your results as Lawrence puts that one up high. That's going to be dropping straight down. Pickle doesn't read it. No, he doesn't, but the attacking side also doesn't read it. Lawrence is a little bit stunned, doesn't know where to go. Decides to drive back at some point, and Armac, that's also not the greatest clear. A few demos coming out, but they're both on the blue side, both on the side of Bryant, so they were still going to have more than enough man back to defend that one out as Lawrence puts it into the corner. Armac, who else would be right there to take the shot? And his attacking performance, even though he's only got one goal, it's phenomenal.
Only one goal in this 4-1 matchup, and you know the reason that they're up by such a commanding lead is because maybe Armac's only got one goal, but you know he's been involved in so many plays already. They do such a great job of getting everybody involved, using the entire team to bring that attack down the field. And like I said, unless URG can find a way to disrupt that, and I think the answer is going to be some physicality here, then they're just going to continue to be run over by this Bryant team.
And Brian, they're very much looking to keep on running over, and Liam, he's actually going off the ceiling. Oh my word, Liam, what are you doing? This is not something that we're supposed to be seeing here, but he still shows it to us nonetheless. And in the end, it's Lawrence who puts that one into the back of the net. And Liam, he got so much time on that ceiling, and that's a 5-1. We can't really call it, but at the same time, it's hard to say URG are going to get the comeback.
Yeah, 4 goals in a minute and 56 seconds is very doable. In threes, it's a little bit tougher as you get more players on the field, the comeback margins become more and more difficult to overcome. You know, ones, if you're down by 4 or 2 minutes, it's basically you got the whole game left to play. In threes, it's a little bit different, but it's still doable. The issue here is Bryant's not letting off the gas. They continue to score. Liam with a beautiful read off the ceiling puts that one in. Now a 5-goal lead, 97 seconds remaining.
Oh, hello. Liam actually with a little bit of a dish. I didn't even see that one. For me, he kind of came in soaring from the side and putting that one into the back of the net. And well, that he came off the sidewall makes that actually a relatively impressive goal. And there's Lucky Ducky trying to get something going as well, but it's just not really good enough. Even though this 50 goes across the entire field, there's nobody there to back it up. They need to get going like the Bryant team is, because this pass back into Armac. Armac going up for that one as well. Getting a little bit of an awkward touch on it, but it's good enough, and there's the Brazil.
That is unfortunate. I don't think, though, that we are going to end on a Brazil scoreline. One way or another, we're going to see something different, but what a little... It looked like an attempt at a pogo or something here, but it ends up just catching ball and car at the ground at the same time, rolls out to that far corner, and a double commit out of URG, make sure there's nobody home to finish that one off. And it's one of the issues we're seeing out of URG is they're challenging either at the wrong time or not at all. We need to see them find a way to settle their rotations, get a player up in the face of Bryant, get challenges upfield to threes. You can afford to be a little bit more aggressive. As here we see another one coming back the other way, and that one doesn't find the mark, but it's yet another threat out of Bryant towards the URG net.
And I think they really need to capitalize on Lil Pickle. He's shown good form and good speed. A speed that can keep up in this matchup. They're currently not utilizing him as much as Slow Pickle takes it out to the side as well, misses the ball completely, thus proving my point to be completely wrong for that instance, I guess. Nobody actually converging on this ball. It just lay dead there in the center for a little bit. And they might actually be able to keep on leading by 6 goals and keep the Brazil intact.
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect to see the Brazil stay intact one way or another, but we still have 10 seconds left. Can they find one more for the road? That's a cross, and that looks more like time kill than anything. I think they'll allow this one to draw, and you may be right. We're actually going to see a Brazil here in game number 2, barring this last shot just needs to touch the ground. Still throwing that one towards the net. Finally, it finds the ground for that Brazil score line, and I do realize I need to do one thing here real quick. I apologize if you wanna take a second here.
I must say that every time you say one way or another, a song pops into my head, and I really have to make sure that I don't start singing it, copyright issues and everything like that. But it just instantly starts playing in my head. I absolutely love it. What URG isn't loving right now is conceding 7 goals in 2 games in a row now. It's not really a great look for them now.
No, and I think the big issue they're having right now is that speed, that aggression, issues related to that. They're not getting up in the face of Bryant. They're not bringing effective challenges. They're allowing Bryant to have tons of space and time to make the plays they want to make. The one thing I do like out of URG, we have seen them clear the zone. Both teams struggle a little bit with that. And what that means for URG is they get time in the offensive end. They get opportunities to attack, re-attack, and make plays in the offensive end. They're just not capitalizing. We saw all the way midway through game number 1 where they did a great job. Lil Pickle carried that ball down. They got a demo. They got a bump. They kept the contain in. But no one was there to help them out. They need to be less afraid of getting scored on the back end. They need to be more aggressive going upfield and try to find those opportunities, support their teammates, and look for the back of the net. At this point, the defense is already shattered. You should be all offense all the time.
Yeah, you got to use those shards that are created in defense and start throwing them like little shurikens or something at the opponent. Trying to be a little bit venomous. Try and inflict little damages somewhere. Put a threatening shot on target every once in a while. Make them scared. Because this is a triple commit. Lil Pickle, can he convert this into a goal? No, he decides to take it out to the side, and that's why 2 players are already getting back. That's a decent demo, but then Lucky Ducky misses the ball completely. A lot of demos happening, and I love to see this from URG. They're being more physical, they're being more aggressive, and it might just lead to a goal.
They just need to keep it up. They need to be consistent. The one downside to this strategy is it makes you that much more vulnerable getting beat on the back end, but Lil Pickle doing a good job not allowing that offensive opportunity to develop. They're getting very quickly to that ball. They're getting very aggressive trying to take away those opportunities and just not allow Bryant the space to make plays that they need. And here they are finding a way to get this one in front of the net. Missed touch, but it's still lurking in the front and there's no one there. All 3 players commit to try to get that one in front of the net, and unfortunately that leaves no one home to finish it off.
Oh my word, that was one of the best opportunities that they've gotten, apart from actually scoring a goal. That early on in the matchup, they're showing a different format of themselves though. And now it is Bryant on the offense, and they're showing the exact same form. Armac at the forefront of it and scoring another one here. I mean, not another one in this matchup, but another one on the record for him.
Absolutely, and I think the big thing here to note, at least in favor of URG, is this is the longest they've held out without getting scored on by Bryant. 1 minute and 19 seconds in this matchup. They're keeping this one closer. That one threatening off the kickoff, but touched away. They just need to find that magic in the offensive end. They're starting to settle on the defense a little bit. It's that one, another threatening opportunity. They just can't quite find the finish.
It seems as if URG, they're getting a lot more space because of Bryant. They're just feeling comfortable. They're feeling positive about their gameplay and just going at it with full force, trying to get everything going, putting a few double commits on the board there as well, which is not really the strategy that you want to go for. And a good shot coming on target from the Ramsey. That is a very delicate touch and a delicate team play here as well.
Wow, what a shot. Threading the needle through there, keeping this one tied up at 3:17 remaining. And you love to see them keep this competitive. They're down heavily in the series. It's match point in favor of Bryant, but it's kind of where you find out what they're made of on the match point. Can they pull this one back? Do they keep their minds in it? So far, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, so far they are, and honestly, goals don't really matter that much. Series very much do. You just wanna sweep your opponent if you can, and not really mess about as much, and drop a series, and then regain yourselves. Because that means a drop series. That's going to be on your record. That's not really going to be great if you ever need a tiebreaker situation or something like that. This pops into the center as well. That's a very good touch. Armac. Oh, phenomenal save by Lucky Ducky, and that's no luck. That's just pure skill saving that one. Out to the side, and a Ramsey trying to convert on that opposing side. That might have to be on target. That is on target, but it's just a little bit too slow. Liam gets back in time, and oh my word. Then Armac just takes it into the other goal.
Well, we're seeing the most competitive matchup we have yet between these two teams, but it still lends itself in favor of Bryant. Just past halfway in this game, they're still finding a way to continue to connect, to make themselves meet in the midfield, doing a great job of opening up those opportunities with those transition plays.
That transition is looking incredibly well on the Bryant side. It has been for the longest amount of time. They weren't really able to show that off that much. Now it's 3 men back. They're bumping each other. This is a very awkward situation. Lucky Ducky tries to get that one into the center for his team. It's a decent recovery on the sidewall. Now Ramsey trying to be underneath to get that one, to pick that one up in a cherry picking location. He did not find any cherries. The only thing that he found was some eaten cherries as they're getting it towards the other side, or at least trying to. But honestly, URG, I very much love how they're playing right now. They're genuinely showing a completely different side of themselves.
It's like we mentioned a little bit earlier, is they do a good job of containing for a good amount of time, but here's a shot over the top, and that's such an awkward cut for the Ramsey there, trying to get back to that one. And it's such a tough spot to be, looking back over your shoulder as the ball comes over the top of your head. It's incredibly disorienting. It's a tough one to make, and unfortunately, that 2-goal lead is going to bring a lot of pressure down on URG. They need to find a way to close that one quickly, or I fear this one's going to be over at about the 60-second mark.
Yeah, that very well could be, because I already said at the 2-0 kind of, well, if Bryant managed to get ahead 2-0, then it's going to be lights out for URG, probably. They have shown a completely different side, but on the ground, they very much look similar. In the air, though, they are worlds apart. Liam, he did a little bit of a ground play there. Now Armac trying to go to that backboard. Waiting patiently, that's not the greatest touch. Getting that over another one as well. And Lawrence is up for it. Pickle manages to edge him out. They're not out of defense just yet. They still need to hold on or break out because they are still 2 goals down. They need to have that transition on point. Very good catch by Lawrence, taking it out to the side. 68 boost. It's Liam on the ceiling. Lawrence tries to go alone and drops into Armac, and then it gets blocked by Liam. They don't transition on it though.
It's so critical to get these transition plays right now, especially when you get these opportunities. But here's Ramsey scrambling back the other way and misses this one. And it's something we've seen them plagued by, is when you get low boost, players have a nasty habit of turning away. That one just off the backboard, and Lawrence with the save here, keeping that one away from the net. But the onslaught continues in favor of Bryant. And as the clock ticks down, I fear this is the end for URG in this series. They did a much better job here in game number 3, but with 10 seconds remaining and Bryant back on the attack, there it is. That, I think, is going to be the nail in the coffin, and it just was a dominating victory from Bryant.
Yeah, this final 1.5 minutes or so was for URG was kind of as you were sitting in the corner in Call of Duty with a riot shield while you're getting shot at with a machine gun. You are not dying, you're not necessarily in a bad position, but you're also not able to break out of it. And then at some point, well, the riot shield is not good enough. They throw a Semtex on your shield, and that's going to be game over. URG once again gets swept.
It's an unfortunate season start for URG. We saw some things here that bode well for URG and how they've managed themselves throughout this series, but unfortunately they just got outclassed by Bryant in just about every way, shape, and form. Bryant was able to meet them in the air, meet them on the ground, outplay them through the air, like you said earlier. But then they also did a great job of managing their spacing on their field. They were always able to find a pass. They were always able to bring a challenge to the ball whenever URG had the ball without double committing, without abandoning their backside. And it seemed like Bryant could manage 2 attacks at the ball for every 1, maybe even less for URG.
And that's just not a good conversion rate. You got to be doing something better than that. And that's not what happened. They get another sweep on their record. It's starting to look dire. Obviously, this is only week 2, but getting swept twice. Well, week 3, you're really going to have to start playing. You really have to start practicing, getting that team chemistry in there so you can come back stronger the 3rd week. It's definitely a possibility to just get that team chemistry. You probably won't be able to improve on mechanics a massive amount in that time, but still, you can work on that team play, and that is something with a university team. Team play is going to be incredibly important. As soon as you are able to play with your team properly and get that chemistry going, you can probably beat people who are more mechanical than you.
Yeah, if you can out team play, you can outplay a more mechanical team to a point. If you have someone that absolutely eclipses your team mechanically, then there's only so much you can do. But I think the gap here was small enough that, like you said, if you can out team play, you could take down a superior team. We are going to be looking for a post game interview here. Maybe we can get some notes on that team play from one of the players here from Bryant. But in the meantime, say you need your esports team managed. Well, Meta Pro Gaming is the group for you. Meta Pro Gaming is a full service esports management, developmental, and consulting company. Meta provides esports coaching, college esports management, arena design, and equipment. You can visit them, metaprogaming.gg, to learn more. Also, you can see me here. I'm on a hard wooden chair from our kitchen table because I'm on the road at the moment. But at home, the chair you need to have. Respawn. Respawn products are forged for all-day comfort for content creators, professional and casual players, and everyone looking to upgrade their setup. Respawn has been battle-tested and achieves a level of comfort that leaves competitors in the dust. Live to play another day with Respawn, your battle-ready partner. Oh boy. And also in the meantime, we got so many sponsors. Hey, support the people that support us. We only get to bring you all of this exciting Rocket League action with the support of our sponsors. Speaking of which, I had hardware issues tonight. If you couldn't tell, I should have gone to HyperX for some hardware. The HyperX mission has been to develop gaming products for all types of gamers: high-speed memory, solid-state drives, headsets, keyboards, mice, charging accessories for console players, USB flash drives, and mouse pads to the gaming community and beyond. HyperX gear is the choice of celebrity ambassadors, pro gamers, tech enthusiasts, and overclockers worldwide because it meets the most stringent product specifications and is built with best-in-class components. Now, as we wait for our Mac, you don't have to hear me talk anymore. Hyferia, I think you have a couple more people that are very deserving of a mention here.
Oh, very much so. And obviously, sometimes you're like, no, I don't want to buy all that. I don't want to have all that in my home. That's where Helix Esports comes in. They offer world-class gaming and virtual reality experience at state-of-the-art esports centers throughout the United States. So you don't have to buy anything yourself. You can just go to Helix and they'll have everything set up for you. And they deliver a professional esports experience to everyone, whether gamers choose to play, practice, and socialize with friends or compete at the highest level. Helix Esports is the premier destination for gamers. Follow Helix Esports today at Helix Esports USA. And you know what? That is probably going to be enough ad rolls because we've got someone in here now who's been rolling in the goals left and right. Armac, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, guys. Pretty good.
Well, that was a commanding victory you had there over the team representing URG, and obviously you had a wonderful series. You put a lot of goals in. I think I lost count somewhere around the midpoint of game number 2. What do you think was the key to being able to have that many scoring opportunities?
I mean, the guys that I play with, my 2 teammates, I mean, they're just mechanically really good. I mean, I was just there in the right place, right time, banging home goals. They were doing all the real work on it. I mean, I think our team's pretty good mechanically, and we're getting our synergy together right now. So I think it was just we're all over them. We're moving together well, and I was just there to clean up for them.
Well, it's definitely something we noted going through that series was that ability for Bryant as a team, for you guys as a team, to bring that repeated attack, to manage your spacing on the field, and just get everybody involved on those shooting opportunities. And my philosophy has always been it's great when you have a player that can pop off and score a bunch of goals, but you only get to do that with a solid team behind you. So I'm kind of curious, how long have you guys been playing together?
So two of us have been together for about a year now, but then one of our new guys, this is only our second or third series playing with them actually. Liam are there, so our team's still kind of getting together, still kind of clicking. This at times, as you could probably have noticed in the game, but I mean, we're all friends. We're getting to know each other pretty well right now, and I think pretty soon we'll really start clicking and firing on all cylinders.
It's a great start to the season. I mean, obviously, not ideal in that first one, but to come back from that first series of the season and come out here with a dominating 3-0 sweep over URG, that's a great way to get some momentum going into the next week. Hyferia, I'm sure you're literally itching to ask some questions over here.
Perfect. I already knew you were going to say
over.
that. We're on the topic of first weeks and a new player in there. Is that something that you guys had to adjust to, and you guys feel as if you're getting stronger every single week?
So I mean, at first our play styles, we just kind of have to figure each other out a bit, figure out who likes to do what, who's comfortable being up, who's comfortable sitting back a bit. It was a little bit of adjustment, and I think it kind of showed in our first game. I mean, it was a really close one. I think it went overtime, game 5. I mean, I think it was just a few small mistakes here and there, but as we've been practicing, scrimming, playing and stuff, we've been cleaning up our game a lot more. We're really starting to click now, and I think as we go on, it's only going to get better.
And do you guys think that, well, having a sweep this week will give you guys the confidence that you need to just get this into the rest of the season and just completely duke it out with everybody? Because obviously you guys showed a great performance, but is the confidence there, or do you guys kind of get down on yourselves looking at last week, for example?
The confidence is definitely there. I mean, the first day kind of sucked, but I mean, right after that, we forgot right about it, and we're on to the next game. And I mean, at this point, we'll probably be happy about this game, but I mean, we still got a lot more games to play. So, looking forward, one game at a time, one series at a time. And I mean, winning 3-0 is nice, but we still have a lot more to play.
Very true, very true. It's always Rocket League is an up and up road, and you're never really at the end. But sometimes you are at the end of interviews. I want to thank you so much, Ormac, and you keep on banging in those goals left and right. I want to see more of that coming weeks, and go and celebrate with your team for the victory tonight, and hopefully talk to you later.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Well, as we get ready to go here, we mentioned get to see some more of Armac. And I know, Hyferia, if you want to talk about where we can see some more of this Rocket League action, I think that's the last thing we're going to do before we bring you more exciting Rocket League action.
Twitch.tv/NECC_esports. No, that is obviously where it all starts. But then you need to see that somewhere on other things as well. And that's where ESTV is absolutely phenomenal. And they're the first ever dedicated channel for esports and gaming personalities, such as myself, obviously, and Lars, with gaming personalities. Yeah, it's the first channel devoted 24/7. Esports coverage can be found on a number of OTT platforms, including the Roku channel, Amazon Fire TV, Samsung TV Plus, the Plus version, of course. It always throws me for a loop. Sling TV and Vizio Free Watch. ESTV partners with the world's top gaming networks and production partners for the most robust esports content lineups on linear, online, and mobile. For more information, please visit ESTV.co. And that is obviously been all the sponsors. Massive shout out to every single one of them. Want to thank them, obviously, and thank you all for being here in the chat as well. That is not going to be the end of the stream. We've got more matches coming up tonight, but that will only happen after a short little break. See you back in a bit.